The Tin Can Society, issue number 1. That's right, folks. This is a new miniseries that is a story from Peter Warren and Rick Morender. It is primarily written by Peter Warren, and I didn't know what to expect. Like, these are names I like. I like seeing that. Like, the cover to the book has an endorsement from Taika Waititi, so I'm like, hey, that's kind of cool. What does that mean exactly? I don't know. I have no knowledge of what this was going into it. All I knew was these are names I like. This seems kind of cool. And this book truly surprised me in ways I wasn't expecting. I didn't know what to think going into this. I knew it was like about a hero and something to do with like kids and like their childhood group or whatever. It went to some disturbing ways and some pretty dark ways, and it's been a minute since a comic book truly made me go, oh wow, okay, we're doing this, we're really talking about this, we're showing this in very vivid detail and explaining this, and it feels really interesting and different. And sticking to the superhero realm can be kind of complicated, especially when you're trying to like do something new. I think for the most part this book really breaks away from the norm and is saying something different. So this book actually opens up with like a disclaimer saying there are depictions of violence and bodily harm, including some experienced by disabled or people of color. Discussions of racism, ableism, and hate are prevalent throughout the story. So that's a pretty bold statement to make. Does that mean we're going to open up with something terrifying? Yes, it does. This book opens up with a disabled black man who has been murdered. His legs are broken. I'm not going to show you the picture. His head is caved in and his legs are broken. And it's a crime scene. He's also wearing some mechanical looking like armor on his legs. And there's a woman taking his photo. And she's like a photographer of some kind. It's a crime scene. But she's not part of like the crime. She's like, I know this man. And it's the thing you always want to like not have to say when you find a body. It's like, I don't want to remember him this way. And then we go back to see how she remembers him. This kid, his name is Johnny Moore. He's a new student in this town. He's on crutches and there's something wrong with his legs. And like a whole group of kids are like, what's up with this guy? Just off in their own world, right? It's called Spinadiphidia. I don't know if that's a real thing or not. I'd imagine it is because we're putting a lot of detail into it. So basically, there are like sacs that form outside the spine. It leaves the spinal cord unprotected and kind of broken. So this kid is not going to be able to grow up to become a lot of stuff or do a lot of stuff. So his parents give him away, but in an orphanage to Christian scientists named Pam and Edward Moore, they adopt this young black kid, and he just starts to realize because they're Christian, they're not going to let him do certain things or feel certain things, and it's going to make him very angry and resentful, but it's also going to make him ambitious, so he's going to try harder in certain situations. Also, because of his disability, there are certain things that he can and can't do. So he can't eat like the school lunches. So Johnny, he gets like a packed lunch from his parents. It's mainly cottage cheese or like applesauce and stuff, just like soft food so he doesn't choke. But he gets really pissed off about it. He's like, I just don't want to eat this anymore. I want to be like a normal kid because I am a kid. I just want to fit in and be normal. So Johnny starts to like try and eat like a tater tot or something. Immediately starts choking, and all the kids are like, I don't know what to do. And then like a group of kids that we saw earlier in the book, there's like 4 of them, they spring into action and they save him from choking. We get all their names. There's Cassia, Adam, Craig, and Val, and that's where he says he's Johnny, and they become friends. And he takes them to like his secret spot where he's got like a hidden tin can that's like buried like by a tree. And it's just like it's where he buries stuff that he doesn't want like his parents to see. So it's like gadgets and batteries, things that are like scientific and just like motors and anything he wants just to play with. And he has like a bunch of candy in there. And the kids are like, well, come on, have some candy. He's like, no, I can't eat it. I just like having it around so like I could experience it. Because they're like, come on, we're not going to let you choke. We're your friends. And we see like Cassia just happy to have like a new friend, and then we cut to her in the present day standing over like his dead body, and you're like, oh shit, like a cop shows up because she's actually not supposed to be there. She pays him off, so everyone's like, shit. I'll bury the lead a little bit because we're going to kind of get into it more. Johnny became a superhero. He became a superhero called Caliburn, and he's dead now. So it opens up a lot of ideas that we'll get into. First off, his disability? Was it a hate crime because of his disability, because of his ethnicity, or was it attack from a superhero? That's kind of what we're posing in this book, and that's really interesting. So Cassia, she goes to one of the friends, Adam, and he works like a construction job, and she shows him a picture, and it's like they can't move the body because there's like an electromagnet that's stuck underneath the floorboards that's keeping him there, and they can't move it or else he'll break. And she just shows him the picture. He's like, why are you telling me this? Well, I don't know, it's your friend, and maybe you're one person I think knows a thing or two about electromagnets because you're using a bunch of them at this site. He's like, you really think I killed him? You really think I killed him? I cared for that kid. I love that kid. We see like a flashback of him like trying to get Johnny to like do stuff like lift weights and wrestle and have a good time and like take him to the construction site and just like support him. And it's really cool, and it just makes Adam really mad. And she's like, well, the funeral's Friday. I hope you be there. Is Val going to come? Maybe Val's going to come. So we cut to Val, and Val is now like a teacher at the school, and he just sees the news. And yeah, Johnny's dead. He was 36. Crazy. And then like Cassia walks in, she's smoking, and it's like, all right, class dismissed. I got to talk to somebody here. You can't smoke in here for starters, Cassia, because this is a school. And you just see like Cassia's clearly like the one in the friend group that like moved on, went on to bigger and better things, you say in air quotes, as you see what her life becomes. So she's not like stuck in the small town. She's moved on to other stuff. Just kind of like setting up tension between these two, which I do appreciate. I think it's kind of cool. And Val's like, look, I don't know what you want from me. Like, do you think it was the suit or was it something else? I don't know. It's hard to say, but the funeral's coming up. So there you go. Live with that. And we see like a photo that was like pinned on the wall that was celebrating like at the school to show like seniors take top prize in national engineering contest, and it's Val and Johnny, and you see him with like more robotic looking legs. He's clearly like getting better at stuff. We then see what Cassia does. She's like a celebrity photographer, and because she was familiar with Johnny, every time he went to like a big event, she would always be able to get like a good picture of him until he got distracted. It could be by anybody. This time it's just like some random starlet, just whatever, and she just ignores it. It's like, well, whatever. So then she just kind of sneaks on later taking pictures of this starlet that was with him and is trying to like destroy her reputation, submitting it to like, you know, the Post or whatever, just random crap. And that's when she hears somebody break into her house, and they're like, hell of a way to make a living. And that's when we meet Craig, and Craig's got a robotic arm or some metal arm of some kind. It's pretty hard to say what that is. It's some sort of metal arm. He was like the theater kid in their group, you know, he's like on stage doing Streetcar. She's like, what do you want? What are you doing with all this crap? We realize that Craig was actually like a sidekick or like somebody that worked with Johnny a lot just to keep him safe. It could be the sidekick. It could be like protection, just something like that, you know? And he's like, I had a job, keep him safe. I failed. It sucks. I don't know what to do. But the funeral's coming up. I guess we're going to go to the funeral. Okay. They're like, so you want to get drunk? Like, maybe. And out the window as they're talking, we see the Caliburn suit looking at them. And that's like, oh, is there something going on here? Is Craig like controlling the suit or something? They go to the funeral. Everyone's sad. Obviously, they don't know what to do. They just remember their time as kids. And that's where they come up with like the name, the Tin Can Society, because when they're hanging out there, there's like chewing on shit from a tin can. Just like a bunch of kids, 5 of them just hanging out having fun, right? And they're just miserable. They're like, well, our friend's dead. This really sucks. And we see that the starlet, who I guess is either like the wife, girlfriend, clearly like the immediate like relationship in Johnny's life, she like shows up, and Cassie's like, oh great, well, why would I be surprised that she's here? Everyone else is here. Paparazzi all over the place, people just like coming to support the guy, holding up their action figures and like their silhouettes and their helmets, just want to support like the bereaved superhero. You're like, that's kind of crazy. So Cassia lays out the facts of everything, like he was a hero. And it's hard when your best friend gets murdered. It's even harder when like he's Time Magazine's Man of the Millennium. Like he paved the way for so much shit. He did so much good stuff. And we cut that and we see, I don't know if this is like a flashback or the present day, but we see like more progress is like this place, the Caliburn suit's like smashing through the glass of a window or something. There's like soldiers attacking it, and the suit, whether this be Johnny or Craig or whoever is in possession of this suit, is burning these soldiers alive. And you're like, oh, that's not very heroic. And she's like, somebody killed my friend, and I think it was one of us. And we see like a little knife stabbed into the side of like the tree branch where they carved in Tin Can Society. And that's where the book ends. And so many questions arise right away. I'm like, what is up with this suit? Is this the present or the past? Are we showing like the heroics of Johnny, or like how he's perceived a certain way because of what he's done? Is somebody else in the suit? Who is responsible for this? It's really good. Like, it's a really good like mystery idea with a really neat conceit behind it. It feels like a genius miniseries, and that's what it is. I believe it's 9 issues we're building up to here. I loved every second of this. I think exactly how it depicts itself is really beautiful, and that does come down to Francesco Mobili's art and then the colors from Chris Chukri. It's great. It looks great. It's so vibrant. Everything is depicted very well. Very smart. A well-written, well-handled book that feels very realistic in what it's doing with these characters, while still figuring itself out. I truly love it. It's so interesting. I cannot wait to see where this goes. Like, I'm genuinely excited. I think we'll cover the whole book. If people want to see me talk about it more, we will talk about it more. But this was a great first issue for a series I did not know what to expect. And now that we see something here, I'm very impressed. Very curious to see what's going to happen. So, the Tin Can Society, issue number 1, I am going to give a 9 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.